That's right, that's right. I'm back with another vid. I'm not letting you unentertained and uneducated for any time in the future. So, even though my last video hasn't performed that well, I am still back, still trying to contribute to society. What I've noticed though is that since I have put increasingly less effort into videos, they have performed more ill. Is that how you say it? They have performed illy in that regard. So maybe now it's time to go a bit more back into where I came from and try at least to edit in some sorts, as long as my computer lets me even attempt to do so. So, what topic do I have for you guys? We're once again back to the Indian subcontinent, but this time I've decided to not focus on the Indo-Aryan branch of Indian linguistics or peoples, you could say, but to go south, and that is the land of the Dravidians. Um, the most notably, or I should say, maybe the most prominent group of the Dravidians, historical and nowadays, are the Tamil. That is the people from Tamil Nadu, and that is the southeastern state of modern day India. But the historical Tamilian empires have been much bigger. I am inclined to say. So, as you may be familiar with the Indo-Aryan migration theory or the Indo-Aryan invasion theory and whatnot, I won't go into detail now because I have already done so and then deleted the first attempt. The thing is, or the big question is, are the Dravidian peoples of South India, are they autochthonous, meaning did they originate in South India, which is already a bit of a strange term because, as we know, Africa is the cradle of humanity. So more or less everybody originated from Africa, and then it's just a matter of perspective and a matter of looking at migration. But the question remains: how long did they stay in South Asia or India before the arrival of the Indo-Aryans, meaning the modern day Hindi, Urdu, etc. speakers? And obviously, that's not an easy question. I mean, I won't be able to offer any new knowledge in that sense or any research. I've just read some stuff about it, and I thought it's maybe interesting or worth telling about because there's still lots of nationalism and ideologies intertwined with it, and maybe I'm able to be a bit more neutral as I'm neither Tamil nor South Asian at all. I'm also not Albanian, but just like the head. And there's some interesting theories out there. Probably most of them are not true. Depends on what's your perspective on truth at all. But without getting too philosophical, one of them may be true, maybe they're all wrong, but it's still maybe fun for you to. Uh, Maybe it's fun for us to dive into them. So, there's a hypothesis from David McAlpin, who's an Indologist and I believe also in linguist, and he has put attention on the possible connection between the Elamite language, which has been in ancient Mesopotamia, so between the Euphrates and Tigris rivers. Um, there's been lots of cultures there. There's been the Sumerians, and there's been the Babylonians, the Akkadians, which are all, I mean, Babylonians are sort of Akkadians, and um, Assyrians and Neo-Assyrians, and it's all a big mess. I don't know myself. I don't know it very well myself. But anyways, he has hypothesized that there may be a connection between the Dravidian languages and the language of the Elamite kingdom, which was Elamite, which nowadays is considered a language isolate. But with isolates, there's always a possibility to draw a connection from here to there, and that's something that's out there. There are also more wild theories, for example, with the Sumerian language, which is also from Mesopotamia and also language isolate, but I think that one is even more controversial. And there was also something about Proto-Saharan. Not even sure what Proto-Saharan is, but yeah. There was also Herodotus, which is an, I think, ancient Greek historian and writer who has visited the area apparently, or maybe has talked to someone who has visited the area. And he told something about the two Ethiopian peoples or cultures of the area. One is seated in Egypt. I mean, Ethiopia is not Egypt, but in the ancient sense, probably it's the borders are a bit more fluid. And the second one is Sindh, which is in modern day Rajasthan, and which is more or less a term for the area where the Indus River flows through, which is called Sindhu in many modern day languages, and that's what he termed as the other Ethiopia. So that's maybe a small hint for the relation there between some peoples of Africa and some peoples from there, but it's all very vague. And it's one interesting thing that I also just now read, which I have never heard before, is that in the own Tamil tradition, the Tamil tradition, there are also some other theories regarding the Urheimat. That's a German term, the original home or the cradle of the Tamilian peoples, which is ancient Lemuria, or in Tamil it's Kumari Kundum or Kumari Kandam, I think anglicized, and that's a continent which in Tamilian literature, and that supposed continent should have been south of South Asia, south of modern day India, and that's apparently where the Dravidians or Tamilians stem from. Another term is ancient Lemuria. It's fairly easy to say that that's obviously not true. There hasn't been a continent in this area that has sunk. But those myths are prominent in all sorts of cultures around the world. For example, there's the flood, the big flood with Noah and his ark in Kumari Kandam, which is also called Kumari Nadu. So Nadu is country, like Tamil Nadu. Nadu is the country of the Tamilians. Um, I'm not sure if it's by coincidence, but Kumari is also an Indo-Aryan term for, I think, a certain caste. So there's lots of people with the last name Kumar for men and Kumari for girls. But that might just be coincidence. I haven't looked into that. One other thing, the term Tamil, um, it has a very controversial, disputed etymology, meaning it's not as straightforward as other names might be or other words in general. There has been some theories, one from Southworth, who's an Indologist as well, and he's connecting the term Tamil to the word Tam, which apparently means self, and Ir, which means speaking. And that's actually not very uncommon for people to name themselves like that. You would think maybe with today's individualism, everybody has some entitlement of being like this and like that and associating them with certain traits or characteristics. But it's very common, and it's also, I guess, maybe the most common way of naming yourself is to just say, we are the people of X. And the term Tamil can be found actually really far back already in the Tolkappiyam, which is the most ancient Tamil. I'm always confusing the terms. Tamil. And just to show what I was saying before, I wrote some examples down. For example, some cultures who name themselves just people are the Inuit. There's the Bantu people, it's the same. There's Kalaallit in Greenland, which is also the same. There's Diné people, modern day Navajo people in, I think, Arizona. So indigenous Americans who also use the term people to refer to themselves. And I think also one other thing is Deutschland, which is Germany in German. A lot of people don't know, but probably the term Deutsch is merely derived from a word that means something like the people or the Volk. So Deutschland is actually just another term for the people's land, which is Deutschland. Yeah, and also I think maybe Poland, uh, maybe just another term for people of soil. Yeah, but that's all I had to say. I'm always losing myself in some other thoughts, so maybe it's a good time to stop again. When you're watching this, I hope I have been able to edit something. If I didn't, then I'm sorry. Maybe it's still watchable. I'm doing my best, and I'll see you in the next. Okay, check out.